On episode 28 of Run, Jump, Stomp, we've got Microsoft making all the right moves. We've got some information from Square Enix. Some people are upset about Bloodstained DLC. Those stories and more on this episode of Run, Jump, Stomp. Welcome back, everybody, to Run, Jump, Stomp. This is episode 28. If you want to get Run, Jump, Stomp and my other shows ad-free for as little as $1, check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Run, Jump, Stomp. You can join that for as little as $1 and get all of the shows ad-free. You can also share your thoughts about video games by leaving a voicemail over at anchor.fm. Actually, I got to change that link. It's runjumpstomp.com/voicemail, and you can leave a voicemail. And there's a specific voicemail that I'm actually looking for right now. I'm looking for bumpers from people. If you've ever listened to the radio and you've had somebody call in and say, hey, this is so-and-so from wherever, and you're listening to 106.3, the crazy or whatever the call letters of the radio station is. I'm kind of looking for people to do that. So if you could call in and say, hey, this is so-and-so from wherever, input your name and the place that you're from, and you're listening to Run, Jump, Stomp, and I'm going to make a little random button that I can hit that'll always play one of those after I get a few of them in. It's super easy. Just go to runjumpstomp.com/voicemail to send that in. Anyway, let's move on from that craziness and start talking about how Microsoft is just doing everything right now. Oh my goodness, Microsoft. By the way, you probably are hearing me and you're like, man, Bill sounds weird today. I just was sick for a couple of days and I felt like I was gonna die. But I'm on the mend. I'm getting better. I can talk again. If I have a coughing fit in the middle of the show, I apologize. I will edit it out, but the live people are going to have to deal with it. Speaking of live people, you can watch the show live over at twitch.tv/runjumpstomp. Make sure that you head on over there and hit that follow button, and you'll get notifications when I go live, so you can come and hang out with us, hang out with the awesome people that are here, like Mikey and Smash. You guys are great, and Bland Name. Anyway, let's talk about Microsoft. Microsoft said something that I am a huge fan of. They said something very awesome. Here's what they said. They said, we believe you should have a choice to where you buy your PC games. What exactly does that mean? Well, it means that Microsoft is going to start selling Microsoft published games on Steam. On Steam. That's fantastic, because I think that Microsoft knows that we've all looked at the Microsoft Store, like the Windows Store, and we've looked at that and we've said, yeah, we really don't like that. We don't think that it's very good, and we don't want to use it. So people haven't been buying Microsoft published games on the PC because they felt like they were being forced to buy it from a kind of a crappy store. And I'm not saying that that the store is suddenly not crappy, but now that Microsoft is giving us options for where else we want to buy the game, it's just fantastic news. The way I look at it is like this. Microsoft seems to be the only hardware manufacturer or I guess platform holder. Yeah, that's a better way to say it. Microsoft seems to be the only platform holder that completely understands that if you want my money, then you're going to give me you're going to sell me the thing that you want me to buy from you in the least intrusive way. And so Microsoft's seem to be understanding this, like bringing Cuphead to the Nintendo Switch. That was a Microsoft Xbox exclusive, also on PC. Okay. But they went to the developer and they said, hey, why don't you make this for the Nintendo Switch, and we'll still publish it. And of course, why not? Because they get to make money every time one of those sells. Microsoft gets to make money every time somebody sells a game on Steam. Now, I know that some people will say, all right, well, this was happening before, because like the copy of Cuphead that I have on my PC, I bought that, or actually that was gifted to me through Steam. So this is not the first time that it's happened, but it's going to be the games that are made by the Xbox Game Studios PC games. All right. So that's not Cuphead, as far as I understand. Phil Spencer wrote, our intent is to make our Xbox Game Studios PC games available in multiple stores, including our own Microsoft store on Windows at their launch. We believe you should have choice in where you buy your PC games. And I completely agree. I love that Microsoft is doing this, and I hope that it catches on. I hope Epic says, okay, we're done with exclusives. We're going to let you buy the games that we publish anywhere you want. You know, maybe we'll see Rocket League come to the Microsoft Windows store. I certainly wouldn't buy it from there, but I'd like it to be an option for people who would like to buy it from there. Maybe we'll see Valve release Portal 3 on Epic Games and Microsoft. Okay, no, that's not going to happen. And the Epic Games thing is not going to happen either. But, you know, we could always hope. But that's not the only thing that Microsoft is doing right lately. And you'll have to excuse me while I sniff. Sorry about that. That's not the only thing that Microsoft is doing right lately. They're also doing something very, very surprising. Well, it surprised me. I guess there's a lot of people who weren't surprised. But Microsoft is also bringing the Xbox Game Pass subscription to PC as well. So for those of you who don't have an Xbox, like me, I don't have one. The Game Pass subscription basically is this. Currently, you can subscribe to it on Xbox, and a lot of times the first-party published stuff from Microsoft gets published and released through the Game Pass, and you don't have to buy it. You get the game without having to buy it. So that's kind of what's going on with there. And then with the Game Pass on the PC, it's going to be basically the same thing. They're saying it's going to launch with over 100 high-quality PC games for Windows 10. And it looks like Microsoft is going to talk more about this on June 9th when they do their big 2-hour-long press conference, which we can look forward to when we get to more E3 stuff down the road. So I'm curious as to what you guys are excited about for Microsoft. Do you care about Microsoft Game Pass? Do you care about the fact that you're going to be able to buy Microsoft published titles outside of the Microsoft Store on PC? Are you somebody who doesn't play PC games at all? Let me know what you guys think. All right, I'm going to take a quick break and I'll be right back.
It's two-player fun on the split screen, only for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Now you're playing with power, superpower.
All right, guys, I paused recording. I will be right back. All right. All right, guys, I'm back. All right. Sorry about that. Just had to talk to my son real quick. Close those. Actually, I lied. Before we go to the next story, I want to take a second and talk about the Xbox One controller. I am quite late to the pyramid. I just read something in chat which distracted me. I'm quite late to the party on the Xbox controller. I had an Xbox controller, an Xbox One controller, but I had bought it used, and I always thought that the buttons were too clicky and the sticks were a little too mushy, and overall I wasn't too happy with it. But I've been playing a lot more games on my PC lately now that I have a better graphics card, and I wanted a good controller for them, so I ended up plunking down the money for an Xbox One controller, like a new one instead of a used one. And I gotta say, this controller is pretty damn good. Like, the D-pad is really great, and I know I'm late to the party on this. The triggers are fantastic. This is a great controller, and I honestly think I might like this more than the Nintendo Switch Pro controller. Um, I don't know if it's my favorite controller ever, because that still might be the Steam controller, just because of all the crazy customization stuff you can do with it. But I really like this controller, the Xbox One controller. I got the really nice blue one. It looks fantastic. And if you are into playing PC games at all, and you are, kind of on the fence about what controller you want to pick up, I recommend this controller. I think it's fantastic. I'm a big fan of this controller, and I am very, very surprised. Something else that I want to talk about real quick is I got this. It was on sale. This little Mario looking brick thing, which if you're just listening to the podcast, it's the 8-bit dough Bluetooth adapter. It's a USB adapter. I got this for my Raspberry Pi, and I got it hooked up to my Retro Pi basically. And it was $16 on sale. Oh, I've got it upside down. It was 16 bucks on sale. And now what I've started doing is I've got my old Wii U Pro controller, which has the ABXY in the right place for Super Nintendo games and stuff like that, and it still has sticks and everything. This is a great controller for old retro games. And I've got this paired. I've got my Wii U Pro controller paired with my 8-bit dough Bluetooth Bluetooth adapter, and it works great. I'm getting no lag. Now, I was pairing this controller to the Retro Pi through the built-in Bluetooth, and it did not work as well. However, when I used the 8-bit dough adapter, it worked fantastically well, and I don't feel like I'm getting any lag. That being said, I've never been somebody who really notices latency that much. But I just wanted to let you guys know, and I'll make sure that there are links in the show notes for, you can just Google Xbox controller, but I'll put the links to the ones that the things that I bought in the show notes, so you can pick those things up on Amazon if you want, or if you're watching this on YouTube, you can link it down below. I just really like that combo. It's really, really good. Anyway, let's switch over and talk about Square Enix. Square Enix, they posted on Twitter. Oh boy, I'm excited for this. There's a few years ago, it feels like, when we had this very, very cryptic announcement from Square that featured imagery from the Avengers, and like Captain America's shield and like maybe Thor's hammer and stuff like that. And Since then, they have been really quiet. This is not like Square Enix. Square Enix, they always seem to have a hard time holding back. They always want to tell us everything. And even when I don't think that they should, like a lot of times they should just say, okay, we're not going to tell you anything until we're ready and hold everything off. But we've got at Play Avengers on Twitter. Make sure you follow them. They posted tune in to Square Enix Live E3 2019 for the worldwide reveal of Marvel's Avengers. That is on June 10th at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Hot damn, I am excited for this. I don't know what kind of game it is that we're going to be playing, but Square has been working on this for a while, and I'm not even going to speculate because Square does a lot of different things. I know that people like to pigeonhole Square as an RPG studio, and you know they are. They make some of the best RPGs ever, but they also make some pretty damn good action games. Like the Tomb Raider games are fantastic, and those are made by Square. So Joel Mead in chat is making a very funny comment. What hasn't Square been working on for a while? Yeah, they've been working on a couple of things for a long time. But man, I am really looking forward to Square's event for E3 because we're going to get more information on Final Fantasy VII Remake, and we're going to get information on the Avengers Reassemble, I think it's called. We're not sure anyway. Anyway, I'm very excited for this, and you should be too. If you like Square Enix stuff, and if you like Avengers stuff, then this is something that I'm definitely going to be tuning into. Now, it happens at 6 p.m. Pacific time, so that's 9 p.m. my time, and that's on June 10th, which is Monday. Not the best time for me. I don't know if I will be streaming it and doing my reactions live or watching it the next day. I'm not sure, but I'm looking forward to this. It's made by Square. They said right here on the picture here, it's Marvel, Crystal Dynamics, Eidos Montreal, and Square Enix. Crystal Dynamics is the company that worked on the Tomb Raider games that Square released. So I think that, you know, maybe it's going to be an action style game like that where you are playing different superheroes. I don't know, but I'm excited, and I want to know what kind of game do you guys think it's going to be? All right. So today's the 31st. The next episode comes out on the 7th, and then after that is going to be the reveal. So let me know what your predictions are. In fact, let me go ahead and do this now. Shout at me on Twitter at RunJumpStomp. Use the hashtag RJSPod, RJSPOD, and let me know what are your E3 predictions, be them about Square or Nintendo or Xbox, or I know that Sony's not going to be there, but I'm sure that they're going to make some announcements as well because they don't want to be left out. Whether it be Google Stadia stuff, whatever it is that you have predictions for E3, I want to know what your predictions are. After all, this show is your thoughts on games. You can also call and leave a voicemail, and I will play those before or after the show. I probably won't respond to all of them, but we'll hear your thoughts on it on the show, because I usually record the show and then listen to that stuff afterwards. So again, Run Jump Stomp on Twitter. Let me know your E3 predictions. Use that hashtag RJSPOD. All right, we're going to take a quick second to thank our sponsors, and then when we get back, we have two more stories to talk about.
The Atari 2600.
Now get up to $30 in rebate offers plus a free Pac-Man.
All right, some people are pretty upset right now. Some people are upset about Bloodstained, and here's the reason why. Bloodstained is going to have some premium DLC announced, and this is going to cost $10. Let me take a quick sip of the water because my voice is starting to hurt. All right, sorry about that. Some people are unhappy about this. Now, here's the reason why. Originally, this DLC was promised to people who backed the game on Kickstarter. Now, I guess I should probably rewind all the way back to the beginning and talk about exactly what's going on here. So, we're going to look at this uh, Polygon's story about this real quick. Bloodstained, it comes from the creator, not the creator of Castlevania, but the guy who was in charge, and I've forgotten his name off the top of my head. I've forgotten his name. But he worked on Castlevania Symphony of the Night, which many will say is the best Castlevania game. And rather than make another Castlevania game with Konami, he decided to do a Kickstarter to do their own stuff, and that's where Bloodstained came from. And Bloodstained is essentially a Castlevania game, just without the Belmonts or something like that, you know? It's a side-scrolling Castlevania-style game. So a lot of people got pretty excited about that, and he did this on Kickstarter. Now, Kickstarter is where people can back a project, and if it hits its goal, then they will get the thing that was promised to them. And one of the things that was promised to them was DLC that was originally promised to backers only. Now, it was just announced that, and by the way, this game is not out yet. It's going to be coming out next month in June. And some of this content, this DLC, will be available on day one, which I never really like day one DLC. However, if it's day one DLC for backers, then I think that's totally fine. The problem is that 505 Games, the publisher, is now allowing people to also buy this DLC after the fact. And a lot of people who are backers are not happy about that. And I guess I can understand that. But at the same time, the fact that I did, like, maybe let's pretend that I don't have my ear to the ground when it comes to video games. And I'm not really paying attention about this. And I buy Bloodstained because I see it on the PSN store or on Steam or wherever it is that it's coming out. I buy that game and I'm like, oh, look, there's DLC for it. Okay, I'm going to buy that too. I don't know who the creator is. I don't know anything about it being by the Castlevania guy. All I know is that I looked at the video of the game and I was like, oh, that game looks kind of cool. So I bought it, and then I saw some DLC and I decided to buy that too. And the people who are backers, they're the people who have been following this project, and I understand how they might feel like, hey, we've been with you this whole time. How about you reward us? And that's fine. I can understand that. But the fact that other people who maybe didn't know about Bloodstained are going to have access to this DLC doesn't take away from what you're getting. Like, it's not like they're saying, oh, you can't have it, or you can only have it if you buy the DLC. Like, you're still getting this DLC. They're just saying we're also going to sell it to other people. And on one side of the argument, I can see why somebody might say, well, but that was originally promised to backers only. I can understand that argument. But I want this company, 505 Games, you want them to do well so that they can make more games. And I guess it comes down to this idea of scarcity equals more value. And I understand that that's like, it's a real thing for physical items. But when it comes to something that is not a physical item, it's just bits on the internet, then does it really apply? Like, does the thing that I have only have value if you can't have it? Because to me, the thing that has value, that, like, getting that DLC, and I'm not a backer of the game, so but getting that DLC as a backer I would think, oh, there's my value. I got a thing. I exchanged money for goods. And I don't think that I would personally be upset that somebody else is able to then also exchange money for goods. And I'm curious as to what you guys think about this, because again, this is your thoughts on games. I really want to hear from you. Do you feel like the people who backed the game are getting ripped off, or do you think that they are making a mountain out of a molehill? The one of the big wigs over at 505 Games, Robert Angel Corlew, hopefully I didn't mispronounce their name. They said making this content available to everyone isn't just about making money. I mean, obviously that's part of it, but the chief thing I was considering was making sure everyone had a safe and legitimate way to get the full game experience, no matter when they found out about Bloodstained, whether that's 5 months ago or 5 years from now. And we're being respectful of price backers originally paid, hence the DLC pricing. All right, cool. I think that makes a lot of sense. Because what people will do otherwise is they'll be like, oh, there's a part of this game that I'm not allowed to play because I didn't know about it ahead of time. I'm going to go ahead and download that off the internet. And that's going to get my computer infected. They're going to steal my credit card. All these horrible things are going to happen because I'm going to non-legitimate sites. So when I look at this, I think that this is a good solution. Now, what would be a much better solution would be if this was not DLC that was day one DLC. Okay. This is the Iga's backpack. Offers two things. It offers a sword whip weapon as an in-game Koji Igarashi, who is the Castlevania guy that I was talking about. You get to fight him in the game. And those were originally only for the crowdfunded stuff. Now, this comes out as day one DLC. I think that it would be better if they would say, okay, the people who backed it, you guys get it right away, and everybody else can buy that DLC, you know, maybe after a month or something like that. Something small just to compromise with the backers who are upset about this. But I don't know. Honestly, for the backers who are upset about this, I mean, does the fact that somebody else can't have something, does that make it more valuable to you? For me, it doesn't. For me, I want everybody to be able to experience everything. And I don't know, maybe I'm alone on this. Let me know what you guys think at Run Jump Stomp on Twitter. All right, let's talk about something that I'm very, very excited about.
Target announces the grand opening sale of its 19 new Los Angeles stores. Target's exploding prices on ColecoVision. Experience arcade game quality with push-button keyboards and 8-direction joysticks. Complete with Donkey Kong cartridge for just $169.99.
I thought that was going to be over faster. I'm sorry about that. Oh, man, I'm excited about this. Listen, there is a time back in the 90s when my favorite type of game would be a good old-fashioned CRPG. And you can't get much better than an old-fashioned CRPG than Baldur's Gate. All right? I'm holding up Baldur's Gate on my iPad for the video people. Baldur's Gate is Dungeons and Dragons 2.0 back in the day. This is a fantastic game. I put a lot of hours into this game when I was in my younger years, probably in my 20s, and I loved that game. And Baldur's Gate 2, also a fantastic game. I didn't get as far in Baldur's Gate 2, but that's mostly because by the time Baldur's Gate 2 came out, actually, let me look that up. I'm curious as to what is the release date. Release date, Baldur's... I can never spell Baldur's Gate 2. When that came out in 2000, And like at that time, EverQuest had its hooks deep into me. Like I could not tear myself away from EverQuest. So Baldur's Gate 2, I bought it and played a little bit of it, but I couldn't. Like EverQuest. It was EverQuest. There's a reason why they called it Evercrack. All right. There's a reason for that because it was a very, very good game. Super, super addictive. And so Baldur's Gate 2, I never really got into. Same with the Icewind Dale games. I was too obsessed with other games at the time. But Baldur's Gate 1 holds a very, very special place in my heart. I never finished that, mostly because I would always get to a certain point in the game and I'd be like, oh, I wonder if what if I make my whole party like this? Or I would always kind of get like a grass is greener kind of thing. And I would start over from scratch. And then I'd get to the same point in the game and redo that over and over and over again. So I'm very, very good at the very beginning of this game. But, as soon as I heard this news, I grabbed my iPad and downloaded Baldur's Gate 1 on my iPad because I had already bought it a while back. Back when it first came out, Baldur's Gate Extended Edition or Enhanced Edition. I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, for those of you who don't know, it's Dungeons and Dragons. It's real-time combat, but you can hit a button and pause the action and then tell all of your characters to do stuff and then unpause it and see everything happen. It's really, really cool. Now, that kind of game has kind of fallen out of favor over the years. There's been a couple of somebody is calling me and I'm pretty sure that it is not real. Another damn bot. That kind of game has fallen out of favor over the years. There's been a couple of a couple of companies that have tried to make games like that, and they've done a very, very good job. Like Pillars of Eternity is a fantastic CRPG. CRPG being computer RPG, but that's just how I always refer to these kind of old D&D style games. But Pillars of Eternity came out and was really good. Pillars of Eternity 2 is coming soon, I think. I could be wrong. Maybe that's already out. I can't remember. You guys can let me know. And then there's another one which is called Divinity Original Sin, and Divinity Original Sin 2. Now, I have the first one, and it is a fantastic game. It's not in the Dungeons and Dragons universe, but it's that kind of high fantasy kind of thing. And it has the same kind of turn-based combat, but not really turn-based because things happen in real time, but you can pause it and take turns. Anyway, it's really, really cool. And the developers of Divinity Original Sin and Divinity of Original Sin 2 just released this website, which is, I'm going to guess that this is a lowercase L. Yeah, Larian.com, Larian.com. And all it is just the Baldur's Gate style of a 3. And damn it if I'm not excited about this. I'm very, God, E3 cannot get here fast enough. First off, we already know that Baldur's Gate 1, Baldur's Gate 2, Neverwinter, and not Neverwinter 2, but just the first Neverwinter, Temple of Elemental Evil, and I think a few other of these games are all coming to consoles very soon. And these are all games of the same style, and I'm excited about that. But I'm not nearly as excited about that as I am about this. The idea of Baldur's Gate 3 coming to wherever it is. I'm hoping that it comes to all platforms. I'm really fingers crossed that it comes to console, or at least has controller support, because I love playing games with a controller. I don't like playing games with a mouse and keyboard much anymore. And Divinity Original Sin has controller support. So, there's a good chance that Baldur's Gate 3 will have controller support, and that would make me very, very happy. So I'm excited about Baldur's Gate 3, and I'm curious what games of that style are some of your favorites. While I really, really love Baldur's Gate, I think my favorite one is Neverwinter. I think it's Neverwinter Nights 2. Let me make sure. Neverwinter Nights 2. I want to make sure that that's the one. Yes, Neverwinter Nights 2. Absolutely loved this game. And it came with like a giant, super thick book. I loved Neverwinter Nights 2. And that game I actually did beat. But, man, Baldur's Gate 3. How damn excited are you? I am very, very excited. All right. Let's hit feedback real quick. I actually forgot to look this up ahead of time, so I'm just going to do a quick search. RJS POD. I'm just going to do a quick search on Twitter and see what people have said. And we didn't get any feedback from last episode, but that's okay, because there's always a chance for next time. How can you get a hold of us? You can join the Discord. Head on over and become part of our community over at our runjumpstomp.com/Discord. You can watch the show live at twitch.tv/runjumpstomp. You can get a hold of me on Twitter at runjumpstomp and use that hashtag RJSPOD. If you're looking for ways to support the show, stop by runjumpstomp.com/thank you. And for more content like this, check out runjumpstomp.com/shows. The music that you are about to hear is Through a Cardboard World by Tony Lays. Make sure you check out his music. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.